Hello, everybody. Hello, I'm super wrapped today. You can tell I'm beaming. So, yeah. Hello, Kiwi Joe. Was that Charlie? Have I lagged? No. Anyway, I'm Kiwi Joe Customs and Collections.
You're lagging.
Hey? Am I lagging? Oh.
You're not lagging for me. I can hear you. You're good for me.
You're torturing me, bro. Can you do this? Can you be in control, bro?
I can control, bro. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I still can. Even if it goes onto your YouTube or my YouTube, bro, we can still control. You didn't even send me a link.
Let's do a high five, bro.
On this thing you had to use.
High five.
Right. Okay. No, right. I can still run things.
All right, awesome. Anyway, enough about that. We have a very special guest. We have a very awesome guest, and it's Bryan from HCC 788. That's you, my man.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yep. And I've got to say, like, this guy is still retired. I haven't pulled him out of retirement. We're just having a chat. A brother and a mate having a chat.
I'm quite old. So yes, I'm out to pasture. You know, it's just a matter of time before, you know, I'm in the old folks' home. But while I still have my faculties, you know, while I still, you know, can see, hear, and speak, it was nice that you brought me on so I can communicate before dementia takes me.
Honestly, I'm a bit late with streaming and live streaming. So when I became wanted to do live stream this year, I thought, well, I've got to have you as a guest, seriously. And then you announced your retirement, which I understand. I totally understand, and I get it, and I understand. But I was like, oh man, I've lost my opportunity. But then I realized, getting on towards it, as I was getting on, I was getting a little bit better with live streaming. I thought, well, I have known you for about 7 or 8 years. You know, I mean, lately we've communicated more, but I watched your stuff, mate, and yeah, you're an absolute legend. Absolute legend.
Well, thank you. And I'm glad that you asked. I'm really happy to do it. It has been a real weight off of my shoulders to not have to make video content and keep that up, but I have still wanted to keep the connections with people and still enjoy talking with you guys. And so this is perfect. This is perfect. Not coming out of retirement, but I don't need to come out of retirement. This is what I want to do. So I'm really happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Actually, it kind of reminds me of when Snake Eyes asked Storm Shadows, when Storm Shadow retired, asking Storm Shadow to do certain special missions every now and again on his, you know, the second file card of Storm Shadow. So that's kind of what it is. You're still retired, but you've been invited for a special mission.
Sure. I can be conscripted for specific missions. Yeah, just call me call me up, and I'm ready to rock and roll. Look, I even still got the setup is a little different, but I still got the space here for the live streams. So yeah, I'm not completely out of the game. I can still get in it.
Nice.
Yeah. I was saying you still look good.
Yeah, you said you're old. Like, to be honest, this is a personal question. Like, how old are you, Bryan?
Me?
Yeah.
I am 49, which means that next March will be the big 50.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. You're a couple of weeks before me, aren't you? For my birthday.
Yeah, March 15th, the Ides of March. That's me.
Yeah. I'm March 30th.
Oh, okay. All right. You know, hey, all the best people were born in March. March is a great month to be born. Fantastic.
That makes you still an Aries, is that correct?
All right, say again.
Does that make you still an Aries? Is that correct?
I'm a Pisces.
A Pisces.
He's just out of us. We're both Aries, bro.
Well, I mean, people look at me and they assume I'm some kind of fish. So, like,
All right. Just gonna have a quick nosy who's in the chat at the moment, and my bro's been doing this a lot. So yeah, Cecil said, don't forget to hit that like button. We got Trigger for Triggers. Brown Slayer. Was that bro?
We got Lilith. Just can't
Lilith here. Thank you, Lilith. Many hours when I was in the dark. Yeah, you did, mate. Yeah, I've got to say, like, I was in a bad headspace myself. And what got me into that brightest moment is actually watching a lot of your videos, and same with like Kevin, Foreign BX, Timmer's a lot of the G.I. Joe channels I watch. I don't know if it's because G.I. Joe was my passion, and by watching a good hour or two of them, then I can actually go back to my previous work, because I used to be a farm manager. Well, I didn't start off as a farm manager, but I don't know how I became one. I didn't realize the pressure of being a farm manager was a lot. So that was my darkest hours. You were my lighthouse.
Well, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope that I don't know. I hope it was good and worthy of your attention. I certainly did the best that I could, and I know I made lots of mistakes over the years. It's far from perfect, but my thought was always that we're talking about toys. We're talking about things from childhood that give you joy, and we ought to at least try to make it fun. I mean, I know, making it fun is not the hip thing, but let's just try to buck the trends and try to actually have fun with this. That was my idea. So, thank you. Sincerely, thank you for watching. It's my honor that you watched the show. And you mentioned Timmer and Form BX257, both really great guys that I've worked with many times. Kevin, of course, had his own retirement, although it wasn't announced. He just kind of left.
Finished.
But even so, every time that I've worked with him, he was always really cool. And I can say that everybody behind the scenes is as good as they seem in front of the camera. I can say that, and it's been my privilege to work with everybody.
Yeah. Actually, we got one new in the chat.
Have we?
I haven't seen this chippy.
Matt Noon. Hi, Matt Noon.
Hey, Matt Noon. And welcome you on board. It's the first time I've seen your name in the Barracks Podcast.
I've got to say, what do you prefer to be called, Bryan or HC? If I call you both, I'll call you both.
It's fine. I will answer to almost anything. Just don't call me late for dinner.
You'll be late.
Like Chris from Comic Tropes, he's the one who started calling me Hoodie Coco, which I thought was really funny. So I took that for a while. So let's see. I've been Hoodster. I'm not that picky. So whatever you call me is fine. And if you use any swear words, it's your show. So
Yeah, true. But talk about your show. You had that right. You had that awesome balance of educational, humor, and also toys, of course, G.I. Joe. But I'm trying. I've been trying to discover myself, to be honest. And I did a segment where I hope this works because I'm shooting bricks. But I used it in a couple of videos, and I went, nah, this isn't going to work very well. I've still got it. I'm not going to get rid of it, bro. But I was going to find a way to use that. But as I said, you had that great adding humor and educational all in the same time. That's brilliant.
Well, that's hard to do.
Thank you. And I. Well, thank you. Is the short thing that I can say, because I'm really humbled that you appreciate it. I really just tried to have fun, and I tried to be myself. And I tried to get all the best information that I could. If I ever got the wrong information, I I hate getting the wrong information. So that, but
Yeah.
I really tried my best to be accurate. But I also, we're talking about toys. We're talking about army dolls. So let's try to enjoy it. So that was my philosophy, and I think it's served me well because I've connected to a lot of people who have brought a lot of joy to my life just by connecting over this thing that we collectively remember from our childhood. So that's been great, and so thank you, and thanks for having me here. So it got me here on this show. So it was all worth it.
If you're shitting bricks, go see a doctor.
No, he's been doing it since he was younger. His saying is to when he was younger, and he just continued on for his life.
Yeah,
he always says that, shitty bricks. It's a Kiwi it's a Kiwi slang.
Yeah.
For you're nervous.
Pretty sure triggers would understand.
Yeah.
It's a lot of going to that, like shitting bricks. It's something because I'm an overthinker, so I'm adding a sense of humor to my disorder. So I go, I hope this works because I'm shitting bricks.
Well, excuse me, shitting rocks. But I'm sorry. This is something that I tell people when they ask me for advice, is that the one thing that you can bring to your show that nobody else has is your personality, your ideas, and that's you should bring it. When I first started doing reviews, I was making them as dull as possible. If you go back and watch like the first couple of videos, and they were extremely boring. Well, at the time I was a political science major at university, and I was listening to this federal employees podcast, not because I was a federal employee, but because they talked about policy a lot, and I was a nerd. But the slogan that they had on their show was "Dare to be dull." So I was like, yeah, that's what I can do. I can dare to be dull. So I did that for a bit, but then I realized that that's not actually that fun. And I just started, I don't know, just making it my own. I love Timmer and I love Kevin, but I'm not them. So they have their thing and they're great at it, and it doesn't do me any good or do the audience any good to just repeat what they're doing. But the one thing that I have is my ridiculous, weird sense of humor. And since it's my show, any dumb idea that I have that comes into my head, I can do it and nobody can stop me. So full steam ahead.
Hey, Richo. How you going, mate?
Mate. Hey, Nate, the mate.
Our mate Nate.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you, Ryan. I mean, I will consider Campbell when it comes to logic, how to fix things, how to do that. He is the go-to guy. You guys can comment. You want something to fix? You want some advice? This guy's got it. He's got a great sense of humor. With me, don't come to me for any advice how to fix things. I try my best, but I'm mainly on the sense of humor. I use my unique ability just to be myself, just to calm things down. So you know what? You're pretty much like, I know exactly how you feel. Yeah, you got to put their knowledge and their humor and try to marry it.
Honestly, bro, I've gone back through a lot of our podcasts, and mate, you make the show. Like a lot of people love you, mate, because you add that sense of humor. That is funny as.
When I try to do building videos, I can't help it not to leave the sense of humor out. Yeah, and I feel kind of where I'm letting you down, bro, because you see your work is so professional. With me, it's just like I want to do it in my eyes view, like, what am I doing here? Here we go, turn on that, you know. And
No,
you know,
I loved it. What's your first thing on your truck? I loved it. It was good. Don't worry
yeah,
about
and
it.
there's more to come. I'm
I
slowly
mean,
filming.
just keep in mind, like we're doing shows here. You know, it's not an encyclopedia.
No.
Being informative is important just because that's a good thing to do for your audience, is to make them more knowledgeable by sharing information. But
Yep.
it's not a technical manual. We are, you know, kind of still in the entertainment business, so we should have fun with it. So you know, I tried to. I don't know that every joke landed or any of them, but you know what? I thought it was funny, so I put it in.
Liv got a question for you, Brian, and she says, "What is one of the vehicles you have most difficult to complete for a video?"
Oh, let me think. There are probably several candidates for that. The Cobra Maggot, which I believe in the French is pronounced Magot.
Oh,
I I broke the first one. I got one that was like discolored, but I was going to deal with the discoloration. But sometimes that discoloration can make the plastic really brittle as well. And I was just snapping the cannon on to the base, snapped the whole thing. So I had to get an entire new one. So that was a pain. What's another one? Vehicles can be really difficult because of all the parts. And you can think that you have it all there, but then when you're checking, you realize, I'm missing a missile. One missile. And now if it were just for my personal collection, I don't care. But if I'm going to put it on in front of the camera, people got to know how many missiles come with it. The mobile command center, that big thing was, there are a lot of parts to that, and a lot of moving parts. And that was beyond complicated, because it was not only did it have a lot of parts, it was difficult to record on video because it's so big. I had to get really creative with the camera angles to show what I'm talking about. So that was a tough one. Let's see. I think when I reviewed the Rolling Thunder, it wasn't so much the vehicle that was a problem, but I was just recovering from the flu, and I had a hard time getting through that. And Zazel is asking about the Ninja Cycle. Man, the Ninja Cycle could be a really cool and fun vehicle. Well, and you know, really the main thing is not so much that the vehicle itself is bad, but the design specifically of that front fork is trash. I don't know how there are any of them intact. It's a miracle that any of them are intact.
It's not. I had to repair one myself.
I tried to assemble one straight out of the box. Disaster. I was trying to be, because other people have tried that and had the same problem. It broke that front fork off. And I wanted to be the first person to actually successfully assemble one of those things on camera, and I failed. So I ended up having to repair that. But for the worst vehicle, all around for me is the Cobra Rat, because that thing is not even a complete vehicle. It's like half a vehicle. I believe I picked it up in the box at one of the Joe Cons, and it wasn't expensive. It was really cheap. And when I got it, I think the guy said, "Oh, you may not love that one. You know, that one may not be your favorite." So as I often did with vehicles that were not very expensive, but I was able to get them in the box, I'd do a video assembling them on camera, and I pulled that thing out, and I really thought there were parts missing. I really thought that somehow they gave me only half the vehicle. And I was just stunned that that's the product that they sent out. I mean, kids, they spend their allowance on this, and that could be somebody's first GI Joe vehicle. So they're spending their hard-earned money to get this thing, and it's half a vehicle. That's that's my personal worst. That one stunk.
That grinds your gears.
Yeah, funny enough, you mentioned the Rolling Thunder. I'm doing a Rolling Thunder. I don't know when I'm going to be doing it. Probably start of next year or maybe the end of this year. I don't know, but I've got a repair video with that. And you're right about the camera angles. I know I'm looking at my desk here, and there's no way I could film this on my desk. So I've got to be really creative and not creative. I've got to think outside the box and how I'm going to film this. I may have to say. Yeah,
it's something that just sitting at home and watching the video, you don't necessarily think about, but when you're actually making the video, you have to really think about it, because I mean, this is a visual medium. You gotta show it, and with some of these, especially the big ones, that can be complicated. Kudos to you, and more power to you. That it's a challenge, but it can be done. It can be done. You'll have to also forgive me. Like, I can't read the chat and talk at the same time. I've got a very simple brain. I can either read or talk. I cannot do both. It's like one side of the brain shuts off. So hopefully, hello everybody in the chat, but I apologize. I'm old and my brain doesn't work very well anymore.
That's okay. That's why we got three of us here.
Thank you, Brian. I thought I was the only one. Zazel said the best vehicle for him is the Warhog, and I literally love the Warhog.
The Warhog is a good one. Yeah.
It's not too big. Crime when you painted the beautiful tiger fly.
No, it's not a crime. I don't think it's a crime because it was already broken.
That is a good point. See, like when you're customizing vehicles or figures, I guess, that are broken, in their broken state, they really don't have a lot of value. So you're rehabilitating them, whereas otherwise they'd just be broken. So
so sorry about that, Lilith. Probably one of my most successful videos actually was customizing that to the Dragonfly. It's just plastic. Yep. Here's another
good creativity to actually build something and actually create something new, which I like. But
but going to like this sort of repair work, like this part here, the clips that break off.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm not going to lie to you. When I came to repair it, I should have said I was shitting bricks, because it was either be awesome and it would work, or it would just snap right off. But it worked. I've got a couple of them anyway. So Lilith, I'm going to be doing one into a tiger Stingray.
I reckon it's going to be outrageous to actually have thought about doing a Python version. You do think? I never think. I was going to ask you: have you ever thought of making certain cobras into like you like? I think last week you were talking about, or I think I saw it on your podcast the other night that you didn't tell me about. I just spotted it. Yeah, I know that. I was sleeping away, but you were talking about you're going to make Sergeant Slaughter or something like that into Tiger Force.
I'm going to do White Force and Tiger Force Sergeant Slaughter.
Have you thought about doing some cobras and the Python? Because we're going to forget, Tiger Force was great, but the Python, that was a good little, that was great. Agreed.
Yeah. Honestly, that's something I've been playing around with behind the scenes. It was just trying to get that paint to be close as I possibly can. But it's coming. It's coming.
Yeah.
Well, I've got to admire the customization, because I was never that good at it. So that's a skill that I can only admire, but I've not been able to emulate. So good job. Well
I've been doing it since I was a teenager, to be honest.
Yeah, and we had to do back then because being in New Zealand, we didn't really get majority of the toys that everyone else got before us. So we tend to just make our own.
Yeah,
just build our own.
Yeah, so I recall. Do you recall this, bro? I got a rat toy figure, and I took his feathery head off, and I made him to Sartan.
Yeah.
I wish I had the figure, to be honest, but I don't have him anymore. As when I was a kid.
Yeah, I was in a comic book. Hold on. See, I didn't have to talk for a second so I could read. You know, I switched on the read side of my brain.
Let me know when you flick that switch, and we can ask questions.
That's me. This is Super Joe Unlimited numero uno, and so I talked with the guy who did this Kickstarter, and he put a few of the Joe community guys in the book. My favorite page with me is, let me find it. Did I pass it? Of course I passed it. But yeah, they had us take some photos and with different angles and different expressions and such, and they put us in the comic book. See, this is there we go. So that's I think an excellent likeness of myself. So let me see if I can mimic the expression.
Yeah,
that's pretty close.
That's about it. Yeah. So anyway, that was really cool. That was really nice.
That's actually hits quite close to home to me, actually, seeing that, because I love her. I used to do comic books and drawings when I was younger, and geez, that's something I wish I had a chance, and I don't think in New Zealand I ever had a chance to be a cartoonist for ones like Transformers or Star Wars or even like G.I. Joe's. Mainly growing up reading my brother's G.I. Joe comics, I thought, it would have been cool to actually be an artist for them. So that's quite cool seeing that, eh?
Yeah. A lot of people got inspired to become comic book artists by reading G.I. Joe. It was a very popular comic, and I honestly think that the comic book industry doesn't adequately appreciate how inspirational it was, because there are a lot of comic artists around this age that got inspired as young people by reading that book and kind of took it up from there. That's something that I wanted to do. I only got so far because my life went in a different direction, but yeah, like you, that's something that I wanted to do as well. Hello,
Joe
Mr.
Fan.
Yeah, Joe Fan.
Oh yeah.
Oh, actually, I haven't done that tonight. Yeah, waiting for someone to come on for that one, but I don't think he's going to show.
Who's that?
I was waiting for Ronnie to show.
I believe you're into wrestling too, aren't you, Brian?
Say again?
Are you into wrestling as well?
Oh no, not really. I've met Sergeant Slaughter several times and all of that, but I've never really been a wrestling fan. It's just I know I grew up with like every other 80s thing, but it's just not something that was around in our house. So I didn't get the I didn't latch onto it at the time that most people did. So I don't get a lot of the references. So I just enjoy that you get the references, but I just shoom right over my head.
I asked you that question, and then as you were saying that, I was like, "Oh, actually, I do remember you saying in a review on Sergeant Slaughter. I can't remember which one it was, and saying that you weren't a wrestling fan." So as you were saying this, I'm like, "Yes, yep." My brain has told me that I've forgotten that you went into wrestling.
Believe it or not, you do not have to remember my entire biography. It's not that important. I don't remember my entire biography, so yeah, no big deal.
Now, is this true? Your first figure was Rock and Roll. Is that correct?
My first was Breaker.
That's right, Breaker.
Yeah, which was an odd choice because he doesn't come with any weapons. But my recollection, I was that he was in the first TV commercial that I saw. Now, it wasn't the first ever G.I. Joe TV commercial, but it was the first TV commercial that I saw. And I didn't understand like exactly what the concept was. So I thought, oh, maybe he's the main guy. I don't know. He was the main guy in the commercial. And I also think that for my dad, like he was too old for the first run of G.I. Joe, but he would have known about it. And so when G.I. Joe had their adventure team phase and they had the bearded, the flocked hair and beard, the lifelike hair and beard, I think that he may have associated Breaker with the brown hair and beard with G.I. Joe, the main G.I. Joe guy. So with that, when it came down to making a choice, that's what I went with. As far as I knew, he was G.I. Joe.
I think Breaker was my second Joe. So we've said this before. No, Snake Eyes was my second. Yeah. I got Short Fuse as a present. I always get this wrong. You got Grunt, hey, bro.
I got Grunt, then I had Zap after that.
Yeah, and my brother got Flash, elder brother got Flash. And then I picked up Breaker, then eventually Snake Eyes. But yeah, that's
so I'm pretty sure my Breaker after Breaker was, I can't remember, it was Cobra Commander or was Zap. Not Zap, I got Zap. Yeah, and I'm trying to think of a sneak peek.
No, you got the Malaway Order Cobra Commander, bro. Yeah, and I got the parachute pack in that, and then I realized looking at what you're playing with, I made the wrong choice.
Right. Shoot.
I mean, the parachute pack was cool, but if you throw it up too high and the wind catches it, bye-bye Joe, bye-bye parachute.
It's on you.
Gaz. Gaz is awesome, bro.
Oh, I met you, Gaz. Oh, have I? Oh, sorry if I have.
Snake Eyes was hard to find. I don't know how it was for you guys, but when the kids started to catch on that Snake Eyes was cool, it was hard to get a hold of that figure back then. I can't remember exactly how long it was or how long it took me to actually get a Snake Eyes figure, but there was a run on those. It didn't matter how many they packed in. That's the one the kids wanted. So that was a hot one. Breaker was not as hot as Snake Eyes. I don't know why Breaker didn't have the fan following that Snake Eyes did, but Snake Eyes was a tough one. Snake Eyes was a tough one to nail down.
Yeah,
I think the most common easy Joe to get here was Duke. And then on the Cobra side, it would be Bat and Duke were the easiest ones to get here.
That's interesting. So like carded Duke and the Cobra Bat. That's really I'm trying to think back. I remember Duke being offered as a mail away. And I missed that. So when he came out on a card, it was like, yay, I can finally get this guy. I think that was another fairly popular figure. The popular ones all went. I mean, there was a craze, especially those first couple years. Every kid was into it. So, you had to be on it. But Duke was a really popular one. If it was easy to get for you, you should have sent some to us. That we needed some Duke.
I just remembered that our oldest brother had Stalker too. Now, when I say Stalker, it's not the original Joe's. It's the version 1.5 that we had. Mm-hmm. I don't think we've ever seen the originals. But yeah, he had Stalker. I thought Stalker was a really cool character. Like, I can see what they were getting at. Like the doing Snake Eyes all black, no paint apps, to allow Stalker to have that camouflage. I didn't actually know that until I actually watched your video on that, and I was like, it makes sense. It makes sense. I see it.
Because like they budget for the whole line, not like so save money on this figure, spend money on that figure. Now that you mention it, it was my brother who got Stalker. So it wasn't originally my figure, but I really gravitated to that one. I mean, even without the really cool background on the file card and the comic book, the figure just stood out in 82 and 83. There was like where you had a bunch of guys who really did look exactly alike. He did not. Like that was a big deal. So that was one that I naturally gravitated toward. And then after reading Larry's portrayal of the character in the comic book, it just became my favorite character. So that's one that still is my favorite. Yeah.
Yeah. So Phil's saying his first will be wetsuit, or was it torpedo?
Wetsuit.
No, it's wetsuit. Yeah.
No, wetsuit. I remember him telling Dr. Phil, he said his favorite one's wetsuit, and that was my favorite one too. I had wetsuit too.
Phil, there's going to be a Tiger Force wetsuit coming out, mate. They'll be out next year.
They'll will be very actually. I'll be interested in looking forward to seeing it, since I said I'm a wetsuit fan.
He's got a great figure. The Tiger Ray, I will call it.
Nice.
It's kind of a shame because I did a lot of stuff customizing, as you said, and before I had a channel. So I started the channel last year only because I call it my dealer. I've got a dealer where we get G.I. Joes. He can pick up mint G.I. Joes. I prefer broken ones, so I can fix them up for the channel. Yeah.
Is he that guy with the trench coat?
No, he's not that dodgy, bro.
Came over. Don't know.
A dark car park at midnight, and he's got the hat pulled over.
Yeah, I know the one. I met him last month. He said, "Dude, you want a good Serpento? I've got a good Serpento for you, bro. Here you go." I'm like, "Oh yeah, I know the guy you're talking about, bro."
That's awesome.
Now it's coming out on live. How Campbell gets his stuff from a dodgy guy.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I do have my first. Is it 12 or 13 Joes that came out? That's in mint condition. I mean, I see for the fact I have painted a mustache on Sap.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just couldn't. I couldn't do it. I couldn't. He in the comics and in the cartoons, he's got a mustache.
Yeah.
And as I saw the figure, I was like, nah, the guy needs a mustache.
That actually is weird. Is that never had a mustache? Yeah, but then he's got a mustache. You see on the card, he's got a fun mustache. Very fun. Like a Humphrey Bogart, but that sort of era of those guys. You know,
that was always a source of confusion back then because there was no mustache and he just looks like Grunt with black hair. I don't think any of us understood that at that time. What was happening there? But I mean, there was the plan, the canceled plan to reissue some of those 82 figures with updated head sculpts, and Zap was going to have a mustache with an updated version. They did not get released, but we found out about those a few years ago. So that it was cool to see what might have been if they had, kind of gone with their original plan. But I have to assume that Hasbro was at least a little bit nervous about the first wave of G.I. Joe because you can see a lot of cost cutting, a lot of reused parts, reused heads, and that wasn't originally the plan, but it that's what we got, and so that's how we end up with a card art of Zap with a mustache, but a figure without it. So,
I think that's why I kind of gravitated to that because I had Grunt, and even though I'm a Cobra fan, Grunt is still very close to my heart, and actually it's something I'm gonna track down and probably I will get a few Joes, guys, but Grant was so close. But I think when I went to get Zap, it reminded me so much of Grant.
Yeah.
That's probably why I got him.
Yeah,
You're right.
Yeah, I can see that, bro. Honestly, yeah. The body parts and all that being swapped over. How do you feel about? I know. I've watched a few of your channels. I'm going to talk about here, but Hawk came out originally blonde hair, and then when Duke came around, they changed his hair color from blonde to brown. Me, on a personal note, I hate that. I have changed all my Hawks to blonde hair.
Yeah. That another thing that was a source of confusion, like, I guess maybe if you weren't. Now, I will admit this. The original Hawk figure was not that popular a figure, at least in my circles, with my friends. The MMS was not a popular, not even a vehicle. It was kind of a play set kind of thing. And
Yep.
the original Hawk figure was just not very exciting. That's one that completely reused parts, 0 original parts. And yeah, he was blonde, but unless you read the file card, there was nothing obvious about that figure that said, hey, this is the leader of G.I. Joe. So like for a while, it just didn't dawn on me the importance of this figure. So yeah, it wasn't a very popular one. I remember reading the comic book, and it's like Hawk is the leader in the comic books. Okay, I got it. Blonde hair guy with the green fatigues. I don't remember exactly when it clicked, but it took a minute for me to realize that they're actually portraying that guy from the MMS. That's the guy. That's the guy. So I do understand that they needed to update him. They needed to update the design, and the version 2 Hawk the design is way better. It's way better. But I mean, he was, even though the first figure wasn't all that popular, the character was pretty well known if you read the comic book, and he had a look, and it wasn't with brown hair. So when they came out with that, it's like it's one of those things that I'm sure was decided by a marketing guy.
Yeah,
that had to be a marketing guy to decide that. But I don't know. I maybe it's too much to ask as a kid to have like consistency across media for these toys and comic books, but I didn't think so at the time. As a kid, I did not think that was too much to ask. I was like, why has he got brown hair?
Yeah.
What gives?
I recall you saying that it's obviously because they put Duke had blonde hair, but he had different blonde hair. He had like a sandy blonde hair.
Yeah.
And Hawk. So they went, oh, you can't have two leaders that are blonde headed. So
yeah.
I
I think they probably could have worked around that a little bit, but I don't know.
Easily.
What are you going to do? Well, and they ended up giving Duke brown hair when they reissued him in Tiger Force. So I don't know. The hair color just kind of changed. Well, my hair color has changed over time as well. It happens. It happens. Yeah. See, exactly. See what I mean? So, but in G.I. Joe, hair color is well, they apparently use a lot of hair dye. I think the army must pay for it because like lots of people are just changing their hair color, from one version to the next.
Actually,
and that's fine.
There's something I'm going to say about actually marketing genius. I feel on the Cobra side was making the Cobra officers, the Cobra troops, and certain other Vipers all the same, where you can like collect multiple. And actually, here's a question I love to ask me: Pip, what do you prefer, Cobra soldiers or Cobra Vipers? Well, my favorite toy of all toys is Cobra Viper, right? I will say that, but I love the old school Cobra soldiers. I got to them. I am planning to get more. I love the Viper versions of them. Not the Viper version, the Python versions of them. There's just something about the Cobra shoulders over the Cobra Viper as a whole mess. If you get them all lined up together, they look different. I don't know if I'm wrong, but you get them lined up together, they look different. Where the Cobra Vipers don't look like they should be lined up together. They look like they should be like in Vietnam holding stuff like that. So, do you live? Even though Cobra Viper is my favorite figure, I have to say Cobra Shoulders. But the thing is, they use them and they're able to market like exactly the same. So they filled up so many to keep up with the G.I. Joes. They thought, well, we've got these soldiers here. Just collect them till we come up with some more ideas. But
did you know, bro, that the Cobra Officer was repainted for the driver for the Stinger?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And then what was the other one? The Cobra Troop was
painting them grey.
Yeah, that's right. And then I think the Cobra Troop was repainted him for the Viper hang glider. Is that correct? With the silver.
That's right. Yeah. In fact, that's what I'm repping here. I'm a Viper glider pilot this evening. So yeah, that's the same figure. They just put a silver on the chest instead of the red. But yeah, that and you're exactly right. The Cobra Officer was recolored and reissued as the Stinger driver, and the Joe Declassified, I think, has uncovered some information suggesting that may not have been the original plan. Some early versions of the Dreadnought Torch may have been like very early ideas for a Stinger driver. But of course, obviously that changed. And I think that changed probably pretty early on when they were starting to develop the idea of the Dreadnoughts and do that. Torch obviously worked a lot better in that. But I know that Night Viper. I know that now it's probably seems really cheap to just reissue recolored figures and stuff like that. But at the time, when I got the Stinger, I know I had the Cobra Officer already, but just the fact that he was this all different color, it just felt special. This felt like there was something special about him, even though it was produced with for the lowest cost possible. So it worked on me.
It works.
Yeah, it did. Yeah,
like the Python version of the Cobra sword, it just works. I just love that.
Yeah, the only talking about Python Patrol, bro. The only Python Patrol I don't like is the Python Patrol Crimson Guard.
the Crimson Guard. The
banana man. Yellow.
Crimson Guard, short on crimson.
Yeah.
More guard, less crimson.
Yeah.
That was the unusual choice, odd choice, but now it's out there and we get to live with it. So there you go. Now there's a figure that's not hard to find. There's a figure that is, as far as I know, still running pretty cheap. So if you want to army build, hey, there's an idea. You want to army build Crimson Guards and they're too expensive. Get yourself a ton of Python Crimson Guards and paint them. Nobody will know the difference.
And they go cheap. You're right. They go cheap because no one likes them.
Yeah, it's
a good idea.
I do try to find. I try to see an angle on these where somebody can like them, and I'm sure that there's every figure is loved by somebody, no doubt, of course. That one though that's a tough one because that really is. It's so low effort that it almost looks like a prototype in some ways because there's less paint. You know, it's just plain plastic in some parts, and it's but anyway, but if you did, I think with Python Patrol and Tiger Force, those were a great chance to pick up on figures that you missed the first time around, or you had them and they were lost or broken. That's how I used it. So
Yeah.
most likely, if I don't think I had the Python Crimson Guard, but if I got it, I would have just pretended that it was a regular Crimson Guard. So yeah.
To be honest with you, back in the day, I would have just got that figure and put them apart, spray paint them red, and there you go. I didn't do it, but yeah, maybe I should have.
It's nice to see Zazel. Hello, Zazel.
Zazel's a good friend, really good friend.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I'm gonna switch on the reading brain just for a second and say hello, Lilith, Gaz, and Treasures for Trigger and Zazel. Hello, nice to see everybody. Those are just the names that I see in right now in this column. So I just wanted to say hi to everybody. Hello, everybody. Nice to see you.
Yeah, and that's it. Yeah, great to see you guys come on board to watch this special podcast from us. So we really appreciate you guys tuning in and actually talking amongst yourselves and asking good questions.
Yeah. And once again, I thank you so much, Brian, for coming on board, mate. I'm not stressed enough. He's still retired. He's still retired.
Yes. I'm too old and lazy to get back to work.
But in saying that, he still has his YouTube channel, so please subscribe.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it.
Thank you. I will say people have still been going back and watching the old videos, and that is I really appreciate it. Thank you. It's like it's remarkable that even after being away from it for this amount of time, people are still going back, and that's really heartwarming. So thank you to everyone who is still checking them out. It's really nice. I really appreciate it.
Nah, no worries, mate. Well, no worries. Yeah. Exactly. Perfect way to spend the Sunday.
Dr. Phil, what time is in Japan? Sunday morning.
Oh, hello, Joe.
Yeah.
And Joe Fan's really cool. Yeah, he's awesome.
Yes. And by the way, right here, I have this box of Sergeant Slaughter stuff that is earmarked for Zazel. So he's going to get that next time I can get it to him.
You're a very lucky man there, Zazel.
It's all right here. It's just staying right there. That nobody gets that. That's for Zazel. That's his.
Yeah.
It's a question for you, Brian. What is your favorite sub-theme?
Sub-theme. I go back and forth on this, but if it counts as a sub-team, I guess maybe the Dreadnoks. At least today, because I keep changing my mind about that. But the Dreadnoks, I don't know, they just added something wild and chaotic and a little bit crazy to the line, but was also like fun. So like I like the Dreadnoks when they first came out. They were really cool. I think I appreciate the Dreadnoks even more now. Just for the
they're iconic. Love them.
So I think at least for today, I'm going to say the Dreadnoks. If you want to count those, if that counts as a sub team, if it does, then I'm going with the Dreadnoks.
Well, the beautiful thing about Dreadnoks, I notice a lot of trends, and I watch this a lot on YouTube of guys and gals out there, everyone out there. They set up these sort of cool, I forgot what it's called, they set up these sort of layouts and they put their Joes and photos. Yeah. The beautiful thing about the Dreadnoks is it's unlimited. You can put them into a bar, you can put them into urban, you can put them in swamp, anywhere, jungle. It's unlimited what you can actually do with them and create for them. With the others, like the G.I. Joes and the Cobras and stuff like that, majority of them, you're very limited what you can do. If you don't want to.
And thank you, Fantasia Workshop. Thank you very much.
I
think one thing that sometimes, like, obviously G.I. Joe, especially with the name G.I. Joe, it's military themed. And then you have Cobra and they're bad guys and stuff. But it would be really, like, easy to go overboard in like the serious realism kind of thing, but G.I. Joe doesn't go overboard with that. And one of the reasons is that you have these fun elements, that are really just pure fun. And the Dreadnoks is that they're nuts, they're crazy. Sometimes they're a bit of comic relief, but it was a stroke of genius to include those. So yeah, that's for today at least. That's what I'm going as my favorite subject.
Who came up with the Dreadnought idea?
I believe it was Larry, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's actually been a little bit disputed. There was a conversation. Again, if you ever have a chance to go to a G.I. Joe convention, to Joe Fest or Assembly Required, where Joe Declassified is doing a panel, their panels are extremely informative, and they are really historians of this line. And a lot of times they dig out information that, we didn't have before, things that we wondered about. They go and try to find answers to it. One of the things that they've mentioned is that, Larry has the story about recommending that they use a biker gang rather than their original idea, which was to do like some Ewok looking guys. But Ron Rudat, I think, has said that, no, wait a second, I designed those. That was my idea. So I think there's a little bit of uncertainty about whose idea it was. But Larry definitely has the story and has told the story many times that he suggested the biker gang idea. So that's how I have always heard it. But I guess apparently there is some question about, what the actual origin was. Dreadwalks, yes.
Just going to let you guys on a bit of a sneak peek. So I am going to be releasing, possibly next year, another Dreadnought member.
Oh, cool.
Hijack.
Ooh. Hijack. There's definitely a Dreadnought name. That is Hijack. Hijack.
So he's a master of all vehicles. He can fly, pilot, so you can guess he's hijacking whatever vehicle or carjacking.
Take it.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Good idea. Yeah. Great. That's great thing.
I can dream up figures and I can dream up code names, but can I dream up file cards? Hell no. That's my weak point, to be honest.
Well, see, this is why Hasbro needed Larry to do them. That you see, you can't always do everything. Sometimes you need somebody to come in the pinch there. So, so but you have your strong areas and you're playing to your strengths. There's nothing wrong with that. That.
So who was your favorite Dreadnought?
Buzzer was my favorite. I know that with the classified version, I was a little bit disappointed with some aspects of the classified version of Buzzer, but Buzzer has always been my favorite. I thought he looked cool. I loved the sunglasses, the ripped shirt. I mean, he really kind of looked like, like a biker gang guy.
Yeah, and he was a psychiatrist too.
Yeah, he's
quite educated.
He's one of the most educated people in the whole G.I. Joe universe, which is interesting. But Buzzer. Buzzer got a lot more time in the comic book, and that may have something to do with it. Buzzer had some scenes and had some issues where he was a major character, so that may have something to do with it.
Yeah.
What about you, bro? What was your favorite Dreadnought?
My favorite Dreadnought? Well, actually, I was just going to say, like, Sartan and his brother and sister were good, but they didn't like Viking, so I don't want to sound like a parrot here, but I have to agree with Bryan. Buzzer looked like he should have been the leader of the game. But if I had to say, Road Pig.
Road Pig, because you're a big size, big boy.
Big boy.
There's a dude that does a cosplay of Road Pig that is just on point. It's like perfect. So yeah, that's a good one.
What about the Kiwi MacGyver? You bro.
I've got to agree with Phil here. Monkey wrench.
Monkey wrench.
Yeah. If you recall back in the day when I had long hair and the goatee, I would have looked pretty close to like monkey wrench.
Yeah, a good mullet too.
Yep.
Yeah. Before he had bald head, he had long hair. Before he had long hair, he had the classic Kiwi mullet.
Now,
he even had a mohawk, people. This legend here, once he had a mohawk, he was a Zartan fan. So no one can beat a G.I. Joe fan like Campbell who had a mohawk.
That's a long story why I had the haircut.
But but that's great. That's hardcore. I can respect that. That's
Do you know really why I did it? I'll say it now. So during my seventh form of, this is the last year of high school, right? They talked about how your hair should be, hairstyle and all that. It has to be this. And I had a mullet back then. And I decided to join in this rally to say, it doesn't really matter what sort of haircut you got, you know. So then I went straight at school and did a mohawk.
Mm.
Yeah. He was a rebel of our cause.
Yep. I was, and then, because my brother beat me home, he told my mother, because I went straight home and put a cap on my
the thing is, you always beat me home because I had breakfast. So I thought I finished my training, get home, I thought, can't be home. No, he wasn't home. Hey, before.
No, I was quite popular actually for a while. So yeah, I literally had to see my auntie, and she literally trimmed my hair so it was literally nothing, and then grew it back. And now I do miss my hair actually.
And actually, we kind of embraced the number one buzz cut haircut for a long time after that. We both did.
Elizabeth said we need a rugby player.
We had a rugby player that looked like Road Pig. His name was Wacko Jacko.
Now that would be cool. Yeah.
Wacko Jacko.
That would be a cool nickname. That would be a cool code name. Damn.
Do I do it like Michael Jackson?
Wacko Jacko, yeah. That sounds like a bit of Michael Jackson fan and wannabe.
Just give him one glove.
One glove, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Roper had one glove. He was Wacko Jacko.
Yeah.
Just readjust my seat.
No, the Dreadnoughts was good. Good timing, good bringing on. I think that the only thing the G.I. Joes had to equivalent of the Dreadnoughts, what would be the G.I. Joe's team that was rebelish?
I'll just say Slaughter's Renegades.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. I'd say
and I kind of want to see more of them, more Renegades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know we got Slaughter's Marauders a little bit later, but that was a totally different vibe, totally different style. But the Renegades were like the Joe side of the Dreadnoughts. They were kind of wild and crazy and a little nuts. And I mean, that was kind of cool. So that is an area where it would be really cool if that could be expanded a little bit. We got this much of a window of it in the movie, but I would love to have more characters. I mean, I know Mercer got a later version, but add some more guys to the team. That could have been a really fun thing. That could have been a great foil for the Dreadnoughts. That would have been fun. That would.
You gave me an idea. You gave me some more things to work on now.
Yeah, that's what it is. I just felt that they didn't have the opportunity, and they didn't roll with it.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's why a lot of people always say Dreadnoughts first, then Renegades.
Yeah.
I think Sergeant Slaughter is the perfect leader for a group like the Renegades because, I mean, probably the only person who could keep them in line. So it really was there was a lot about the movie, the animated movie that is not my favorite.
Yeah.
but that part of it was not bad. I
No.
think there was some the Sergeant Slaughter, Renegades part of it was actually some of the better parts of the movie. So that's something that if they had continued that into another season of the TV series, I would have loved to see that explored more. That would have been really cool.
Yeah. Have you seen the movie, bro? You can see it online anyway.
What's cool? I've been watching heaps of old G.I. Joe movies.
G.I. Joe movie. It's what the G.I. Joe the movie, and it's in 1987. That's right, eh? Yeah. It's not the best movie, bro.
Because back in the days, we didn't have the cartoons. We had to get them out from Blockbuster and United Video. We had the videos out. So I remember listening some G.I. Joe videos and loving, and Transformers. I've been watching that too. But no, I think I did watch that one, by sounds of it. It was 1987.
You've said Transformers. Now I'm keen to see what this Transformers G.I. Joe crossover is going to be coming out.
Oh, coming up soon.
I assume you're talking about like the Energon Universe, Skybound stuff.
Yeah.
I'm working on getting caught up with that. I went to Tim Finn's shop, who does Talking Joe, the Talking Joe podcast. He has a shop in the Boston area. So I was just in the Boston area a few weeks ago. So I stopped in and I picked up a bunch of the trade paperbacks so I can get caught up on that story. I have to admit I'm not caught up on the story, so that's why I wanted to get the trade paperbacks. So I'm really hoping that it's good. I really do. It seems to have some buzz. It seems that people are getting turned on to it. So hey, maybe that's an avenue that will refresh both G.I. Joe and Transformers. I think that would be great. But I do still need to kind of get caught up on that. I'm still a little behind.
Oh, don't you worry. I'm majorly behind.
I've watched all the Transformer movies, so I'm up there. And the G.I. Joe movies, the ones that brought out, I'm not that impressed in the ones. It's just like, I feel disconnected. And that's the word I'm looking for. The G.I. Joe movies that came out, I just felt so much disconnected. I look at the kids in the picture and I'm like, man, what the thing, man? And I look at it, is that Cobra Commander? I'm like, fuck. And the kids are loving it. And I'm like, I just felt disconnected. With the Transformers one, I went Optimus Prime.
Mm-hmm.
Beetle. It's
Bumblebee.
My girlfriend, we're the same age and we were able to point out who's there. With G.I. Joe, I was like, oh, that must be such and such. I just felt that this.
I think the only good live action.
It went so far away from the script, it wasn't bloody funny.
I think the only good live action film of G.I. Joe was the second one.
That one's of all of them. That was at least for me. That was definitely the best one. I think it's arguable whether you consider it good or not, but I do think it was better than the other ones. I enjoyed it.
Very second movie is better than the first one.
Yeah, I remember going to the picture theaters and I walked away being disappointed. Really, on the Rise of Cobra. Yeah.
The Rise of okay. I've said my piece about that. I won't start a rant about that, but I will say that I didn't know that Gaz is in the Boston area. I didn't know that. I would have said hi. Travis Moody from A Toy Kind of Mood on YouTube. He was there at the same time, so I said hi to him as well. And so I did see people, but Gaz, I didn't know you were there. I would have said hello. My girlfriend and I, we went to a Patriots game. So, we just hung around the Boston and that area of Massachusetts for a couple of days. And it was cool. It was fun. But if I had known, I would have made an arrangement to say hi.
Thank you, Lilith. Is that your boy?
Yeah.
Yes, don't forget to lick the like button.
You lick the like button.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. Lick the like button.
I'm pretty sure that works. I think that'll work. If you look at it, I think it will work. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
I didn't know it was that type of show. And he says, "Don't worry about it. Next time."
Got all the dogs in here. I got multiple dogs.
Yeah, Gaz. I'm sorry. I know. I'm talking personal stuff, but I haven't had a chance to talk to Gaz for a minute. So part of me just one side conversation with Gaz. I don't know if we can necessarily go to a game every season, but I would like to try. So I'll try to make it back to Boston / Foxborough, in the not too distant future. I'd love to say hello. Anyway, all right, thank you. Please go back to liking or licking the subscribe button or whatever you do with it. Make sure you lick that thumbs up.
That reminds me, you said you had a special thing to talk about with Timmer's.
I did. This is November, and Timmer on Half the Battle, the YouTube show Half the Battle, does a charity drive every November. Basically, all you need to do is donate to a charity that benefits children at any time during the month of November. There are some prizes that will be drawn. They'll do a drawing for some prizes. Please check out Timmer's video for the instructions on that, and please participate. I will be participating. It's something that I participate in every year. It's getting close-ish to the end of the month, so now is the time to get your donations in. You don't send anything to Timmer. You just donate to your own charity of your choice, as long as it's a charity that benefits children. And you just send proof of that donation to get in the drawing. So I wanted to make sure to take a minute to say something about that. I don't think I've said enough about that this year. It's usually something that I'm a lot more involved in, so I hate that I haven't been as involved in it as I should be. I'm going to try to get more involved in it here in the last week of the drive. So yes, please donate to a charity that benefits children, because that's a nice thing to do, because that's a good thing to do. But also share that with Timmer so that you can maybe win some G.I. Joe stuff.
Ooh,
and that's what I have to say about that.
Nice.
Remember, guys, that reminds me. Talking about this, so you are one of the brainchilds of the Cobra Conversions 8. Oh, sorry, 8 Cobra Conversions. Sorry, the whole scene.
Yeah,
that was between you, Kevin, and Timmer. Is that right?
Yeah, that's how it started out. Is the three of us? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all right. Yeah,
I don't want to talk about that a lot more. I mean, this year was really good. Like, a lot of love sent out to you, my friend. A lot of love.
What and thank you, and I send the love back, because it's really touching to see how everyone has come together. When we started it, it was just me, Timmer, and Forum BX 257. And there was not very much collaboration on YouTube among the G.I. Joe space at that time. And that's like, basically, I just asked them if they'd like to do it, and they both said yes. So then we just started, doing some secret plans. And that first year, it was just one day. And we just all three of us uploaded our own thing on that one day. That was a special one-day event. But each year after that, we've tried to grow it and expand it and include more people. We included a lot more YouTube people. And then we really wanted to include some creators outside of YouTube. So, podcasts and toy photographers. it just kept expanding, and it's one of those things that, at least in my view, it gets better the more people participate in it. In the more recent years, I kind of we would have a calendar, and we'd try to get creators on each day of the calendar, but I also open it up so, like, even if you're not on a calendar, it doesn't matter. If you do anything, like in any creative space, and you want to participate, jump in, do your own thing. And if you send that to me, I'll share it and put it in a promo video and stuff. So I really all I can do is take credit for asking Kevin and Timmer to do something for one day. After that, like, the creativity is all on the people who participated. All these content creators who do some amazing work. And I just try to stay out of their way, honestly. Like, if you give really creative people a mission,
a chance,
and let them do it, then not surprisingly, they do really amazing things. So I love seeing it every year. I really regret how my retirement went down this year, because it was my intention to get through Cobra Convergence before stepping down, but the impact that my mental health was having was such that it really had to happen the way that it did, even though that's not how I wanted it to happen. But there was still a lot of participation, and I just can't say enough good about it, and I can't thank people enough. It's just it means a lot to me, and I hope it means a lot to the community as a whole, because ultimately that's what matters. That's what matters. It's not for me. It's not for any individual. This is something that all of us can do, and it's something that's ours, not like all of ours. It's something that is completely driven by our passion and our enjoyment. It's not something that Hasbro is doing as like some promotional or marketing thing. No, this comes from us. This comes from us. And that, I think, is the great value of it. So I hope that continues again. And I've apologized in person even to a lot of people for the timing of my retirement, and I still regret how that went down. But
you got nothing to regret, mate. I totally get it. I totally get it and understand. Like, you said your mental health. Like, a lot of people don't actually realize this. A lot of the close friends and family. So whenever I do a live stream, and I've got hooked into live stream, I really enjoy it. Out of all the content stuff I do, I got into it. But I was having issues with the mic, or internet was lagging. Now, I'm an overthinker, and literally, this is really, really unhealthy. I wouldn't go to bed until probably 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, and I've got work the next day, which means I've got to get about 5:30 in the morning. And I don't mean I'm doing this for, say, a couple of days. I'm talking about like 3 or 4 months doing this. So me being a slow learner, finally got the cable. And it looks like it's going well, but it's a double-edged sword. I believe this is great for my mental health, but also the fact that I was stressing out because I was trying to
putting a lot of pressure on yourself.
Yeah, putting a lot of pressure on myself, and also trying to say, "Hey guys, I'm trying to do a really good show for you guys. And all this love that we do is for you and everybody else." Because I'm trying to bring out the hashtag Gijoe family, which is what Eric Harper brought out. I did a live stream with them, and I said I don't like using Gijoe community because it can be quite an ugly phrase. And he said hashtag Gijoe family, and I just said, mate, I love that. Can I use it? And so forth. I've been putting it everywhere. Basically, it's a hashtag Gijoe family. But my mental health is a lot better now since that cable work. Yeah, my sleeping patterns have been a lot better, and that was since Friday.
Yeah. All right. Well, good.
Yeah.
I'm glad you got that ironed out. And do take care of yourself. Do take care of yourself.
Yeah.
When you came to visit me, bro, when you came to visit me and saw my setup, you kind of think, oh, well, this is what I can do. This is the idea we do. We kind of bounce ideas to each other, and they help you out. But it doesn't happen overnight, but it will happen. It will make things will come better for you.
Yeah.
You know?
And I've got to remember that. You know, this is my second year, so there's still room to improve. Yeah.
I mean, for me, it's been nearly 7 years since my major head injury accident that left me brain damage. 7 years now, look at me, I'm talking, I'm confident, I'm having a chat, I'm actually getting on the world. You know, it takes time, bro. Small steps. And you know what? We do burn out. We all burn out. Every person, we burn out in life.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's good to step back, have a break, or to just, no, I don't like the word retiring. I'm sorry, Brian. You haven't retired. You just step back and let the younger ones come in, enjoy
He's passed the torch, bro.
Yeah,
he's passed the torch.
You created something so epic. You created something so epic that we all just thank you so much for opening us up to the internet world. And there's many of you that done that.
Yep.
And you guys
I'm just hoping there's another conversion. I'm hoping that COVID convergence just carries on.
I hope so. I believe that Timmer. Well, it would be logical for Timmer to kind of take the organizational reins because, well, he was been there since the first one, and anything that I can do to help, I'll be happy to do. But it would be really nice if it happened. The thing is, like, regardless of what happens in the future, we still did this. You know, we still built this. We still created this thing. It is there for as long as the internet is there. There is this thing that we built together. So we can lose nothing. We've already accomplished a lot. But if it can continue, and if there's anything that I can do to help with that, I would love to. But just sincere, all I can do is thank everybody else. It has been a joy and a privilege, and it's a thrill to see what people are doing now. To see so many voices and so many creative people coming together to do so many things that 10 years ago just didn't exist. It was a totally different landscape 10 years ago. But here we are, and it's beautiful. So thank you to everyone who watched. Thank you to everyone who participated. Thank you to everyone who threw in their own creations. That's what makes it, not me. That is what makes it an event. So thank you all very much.
You just basically planted the seed and just let that baby grow.
But you know what? We talk a lot about legends. You're truly the legend.
Yes, you are.
You're a legend, man. Yeah, I watched some of your stuff. It kind of, like I said, when Campbell first said to me this COVID convention, I was like, "What is this?" And he explained it to me. And I did my first podcast was about the COVID convention. You know, I thought to myself, "Oh man, I'm jumped in this by myself." I did a special one up, and I must admit, wow, you know, if it wasn't for you helping my brother out, you know, this means a lot to me because of this. You have inspired my brother to get back into GeoJoes, which he got contact with me to do logos, and we started talking about our childhood memories, and we started talking to each other. We haven't spoken to each other for over 10 years not because
that long.
It was because he had his family, I had my family, and we kind of parted, and this brought us real close. So, dude, thanks heaps.
I've got to say, Brian, that you basically brought, like I'm looking for the chat here. You brought a whole heap of people together, and just for the love of GeoJoe and COVID conversions. Yeah.
I do have a hard time taking credit for anything. It's like, I don't know. It's probably, I guess, the way I was raised. Like, I just instinctively want to turn that back around and say, you guys are creating, you guys are doing the work, and you guys are it. You are what the event is. So
I'm just doing this in the garage.
I did that
in New Zealand.
That's what I did. My kitchen is right over there. I'm just kind of in my dining room right now.
Well,
I'm at a like, this is a table where people eat, but I've got a camera on it right now. That's
look at this.
But
it works. It works.
Campbell, look at this. We're on internet right now, on the computer right now, and we can have a talk to everyone. We're talking to all these chats, all these geoetoys, and the computer was built in where? A garage.
Yeah, it was.
Ever computer was built in the garage, and business was run in the garage. And look where it's come. So don't always shop down the garage, because garages have came up with the best inventions in the world.
Well, think about, like, first of all, consider how far we've come as a computer community in the last 10 years. Think about where we might be 10 years from now, and what might we build in that time? Because we've come so far, and we've come a long way. Before Hasbro was really even doing anything with G.I. Joe. When I started, Hasbro wasn't doing really much of anything. But we still had our community. We were still building. We can still build and create, regardless of what's happening with the brand, in the stores. Our enjoyment and our passion is still right here. So we could see some even more amazing things in the next 10 years, given how far we've come in the last 10 years.
I think if Hasbro were onto it, smart enough to it, they'll listen to their fans.
Well, you know what? They have regardless of whether they listen to their fans or not, they do have fans who are speaking. They know where to go to find out what the fans are saying. They can come right here and listen to these guys. So who knows what Hasbro is going to do? It's a corporation. Half the time they don't know what they're doing. But we're here. Where they can find us. We're not that hard to find. We're talking about what is important to us, and they can take that into account if they really want to, because here we are, we're discussing it. So it would be really nice if they engage with the fan community and consider, our ideas and preferences. But also keep in mind that we were doing this when Hasbro didn't have really any interest in G.I. Joe at all.
Yeah.
We can still do what we do. We can still have what we have. We built it on our own anyway, so we can continue to build it. So
most definitely. I want to ask you, Brian, would you be keen on a new segment on the show that we've started probably a couple of weeks ago?
You'll be a third person to do this.
Yeah, you were the third person.
It's called the guest on the hot seat.
I'm sorry. You'll have to say that again. I don't think I got you very clearly on this end.
Oh, didn't you? So it's called Guests on the Hot Seat.
Guests on the hot seat. Okay. Yes, I can do guests on the hot seat. Which guest
so
is
it's kind of like Graham Norton's idea.
Okay. No, I got you this time.
A brainchild I had.
Okay, all right, I got you. Okay, right. Guest on the hot seat. I can do that. So who's the guest? Who's going on the hot seat?
That's you, my friend.
What am I agreeing?
So the ideal is that we ask about 5 questions each, and then also the audience can ask questions.
Questions.
And you can answer them whatever way you want. So do you want to? Can I fire it up, bro, or do you want to fire it up?
I'll fire it up. I'll fire it
Let's
up.
do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have Bryan on the guest on the hot seat. Yep.
All right.
Okay.
My seat is warm.
All right, here
My
we go.
seat is-
Guess on the hot seat.
My
Okay.
seat is toasty.
Yes, Bryan. Okay. And that's
You
not
go
the
ahead,
question.
bro.
Who got you inspired into collecting toys or G.I. Joes or whatever?
That would be Form BX257, really.
Oh yes.
At a particularly low point in my life, I went to YouTube and just started looking up stuff about G.I. Joe because, I mean, that was something that I remembered very well and was just a source of enjoyment and a reminder of happier times. And I found 4BX257's channel and I watched every video that he had at that time. So that was the inspiration for me. So I had been away from G.I. Joe for a long time, and that was kind of a window into the fact that people still collect this stuff and still talk about it, and that was that really turned me on. That is the answer. That's the number
probably the
one
same answer as me. I mean, even I had my collection, I didn't really show it off, and I had a dark place in my mind too. And those three people you mentioned, like yourself, I mean, Forum BX257 or Kevin, as I say, yourself and Timmer, those three guys got me into it. And then lo and behold, I suppose the algorithm back in the day or whatever, I found myself watching more people like Toy Polloi. Now he does some great stuff too. Like I've kind of modeled myself like a Toy Polloi, but with a Kiwi style, my own style. I mean, it is what it is. Anyway, bro, your question.
Okay, my question is, what was your favorite toy growing up?
My favorite toy?
Growing up, what was your favorite toy?
I've got to choose from so many. The killer whale, the hovercraft. I loved that thing. I don't care if it's realistic or not. It had so much stuff. So I think that's the easy and quick answer. But I will say that when I was a kid, like we got pretty creative with toys. We would use vehicles, like off-brand vehicles with G.I. Joe, and sometimes like some weird cheap toy would end up being temporarily at least a favorite because we would use it with G.I. Joe in some aspect. But the killer whale, I guess more is more. I guess bigger is better because, man, I just loved the heck out of that thing. That was a lot of fun.
Do you still have it?
I still have one. I don't have any of my childhood vehicles, and I only have a few parts of my childhood action figures. So I do have one, but it's one that I acquired later.
Here's a question from Lilith. Can you read that, mate?
Okay, this question is, I'll read it out for you. This is a question from Lilith. My question is for Bryan. If you didn't get, let me say it properly.
G.I. Joe.
Yeah, I'm trying to see it. If Joe didn't get made in '82, what other toy line in the '80s would you rather collect than Joe?
A good question.
That's a really good question. Now that I would rather collect. Now that's very specific because collecting, it can be a different experience than just being a fan of something. So something that I would collect would probably be something that has enough pieces to be interesting and to go after, variants and things like that. Before G.I. Joe came out, I was really into Kenner Star Wars, but everybody was. That was the entire universe before 1982 was Kenner Star Wars. But I don't know that would be it. I'm just kind of running through other things that I liked and might get back into. I did like Transformers, but I was never as much into Transformers as G.I. Joe. So I don't think it would be Transformers. It might be something like Mask, because I did really like that, and that has enough pieces in it that you can collect for a while, and that gives you some stuff to hunt down. So for collecting, hunting down stuff is part of the enjoyment, at least for me. So.
Yep.
That's a line where, even if it wasn't necessarily my favorite line other than G.I. Joe, if I were to collect something, that's one where, there might be enough there to keep me interested as far as hunting down pieces. So I think that's what I'll go. I think that's what I'll go for is Mask. If the question is specifically about collecting, then I will go with Mask. Because I think it might be fun to collect.
Nice question. Good answer. Great answer.
That's good.
Okay, question number 2 for me. What do you like to do to relax?
Oh, I watch a lot of movies. I play some. I'm not much of a big gamer, but I'll play some video games a little bit. I like a lot of classic movies. I like a lot of bad movies. I have a special appreciation for movies that are really, really bad, but in an entertaining way. So those are a lot of fun. And I don't know, music and art. Although I haven't been doing art as much lately, but I do like to draw. So I have like a lot of interest, a lot of things that I like to pass the time with. It's hard to pick like one thing where I spend a lot of time at it, because I really get a lot of enjoyment out of a lot of things. So but I guess the number one thing maybe that gets a little bit more time than other things is probably movies. Probably movies. I've been trying to get back into reading, but I don't know. I went to law school, and one thing about law school is it has a tendency to kill your desire to read for leisure. It can kind of murder your reading for fun. So it becomes a labor. Like in law school, you do so much reading, but it is not fun. You start to get an aversion to picking up a book and actually reading it cover to cover. But I'm trying to get back into that as well. Probably movies, right? At least at the moment.
Your question, bro.
Okay, this is a simple question. Summer or winter?
Oh. It's a good question. And the reason it's a good question is it's a hard one to answer. I'll go with summer. With a caveat. Here in Oklahoma, summers are brutally hot and incredibly humid. It's not a dry heat like in the desert. Like you go out to Arizona and it's really hot and they're like, oh, but at least it's a dry heat. Not a dry heat here. It's just really hot and just sweaty and gross. But it does afford the possibility of travel more, so I can go someplace where the weather's nicer. So I do like summer for that reason. So that's the caveat. I'm going to say summer, but because I can leave Oklahoma more. So yeah, I'll say summer. Winter, I don't mind winter so much, but our winters are just kind of miserable. It's not the coldest, we don't get the worst winters at all, but it's just for about, I don't know, about 5 months, it's just dreary and dull. So at least summer's not that. So I'll go with summer. Good question, but I'm sticking with summer.
Yeah.
Little has got a second question here. So her question is, what is everybody's favorite animal companion in Joe?
Man, that it. I think it used to be Spirit's Eagle Freedom, but now at the moment I think I may be leaning more toward Timber, the wolf, because I don't know. I think Timber has a bit more lore in GI Joe.
Yeah.
I mean, it's completely subjective whether you think the sculpting on the figure, the Timber accessory was good or whatever, but as far as which one I like the most as far as the lore goes, Timber is there's a mystique about Timber in various GI Joe media. So yeah, again, could change my mind with further consideration, but right now I'm going to go with Timber.
Funny that Phil said this, because I was going to say Order for in New Zealand. That was the first Joe pet, and I always loved German Shepherds. But yeah,
I could say Polly the parrot, because when fried in oil, he was delicious.
Yeah.
For me, I just go with Joe fan. Mix.
What?
I actually had that. I had Spearhead Mix. Okay.
That's coming out soon on my channel too, bro. A custom on Mix. I mean, Spearhead and Mix. I'm looking for Gaz's question.
Right here.
Here we go. Yep. So, question: Battlestar Galactica or Star Wars? Supposedly it's Star Trek.
That's another tough one. Well, my girlfriend has introduced me to Stargate, so I like that one. Cool. But the thing is, I really like the Star Wars that I grew up with, and I know that's a prejudice because I grew up with it. But Battlestar Galactica, that TV show, the old one, not the remake, but the original one, I was obsessed with it. I mean, at least for a kid my age, it felt hyper realistic. Like I was pretty sure I could fly one of those spaceships. I could do that.
Yeah.
But I guess I'll still go with Star Wars. But that's a really tough one because I really got a lot of enjoyment out of both of them.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Gaz. I love Stargate. To me, it's kind of realistic. But I've got to go with the new Battlestar Galactica. There's something about that is probably more realistic than
old one from
the old school. I can see us building robots, and then these robots sort of like Terminated, like go against us.
See, this is why I have to give the caveat that I know that it's a bias because I have a bit of the nostalgia glasses. So, but I do very much remember getting a lot of enjoyment and being like really fixated on that original series.
I do love it. Yeah,
I like the whole series better.
We got a good friend Ronnie Trickshot that's turned up too.
Ooh, Ronnie, are you wrong? Oh yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ronnie, for coming around Friday night, mate, and checking out testing out the internet. The mic's working fine too. I'm good to go. Okay, what's question number 3? That's me. What was that?
Yep. It's you, bro.
Okay, cool. So my question is, what is your favorite color underwear?
Specifically underwear. That's interesting. Well, I mean, it would be my favorite color in general. I don't like have a favorite color, but then something different for undergarments. And I like a royal blue. I love a royal blue. Yeah, that's
Like Cobra
a
Commander.
sharp color, deep, rich blue. More, yeah, well, yeah, closer to that than this. This is dark. This is like a navy blue. Yeah, closer
Navy
to that
blue.
blue. But yeah, that I'd say that's my favorite color, and I guess that would apply to undergarments as well. So
Here you go.
Yeah.
Royal blue.
Oh yeah, beautiful. Yes.
Which is the
Yeah,
Cobra Commander, which is the Hooded Cobra Commander and the Cobra troops back in the day.
Yeah, that's well, that's pretty close. That's pretty close. They may have been slightly darker than that royal blue, but they're pretty close. And there were some Cobra vehicles specifically that did hit that royal blue color, and it's gorgeous. I don't know. I just like it. So there you go.
It's a good color.
Right. My third question: What was your latest toy you bought?
Oh,
the latest toy. The latest toy I bought like recently.
Yeah, recently.
Okay. I can tell you what that is. It's the HasLab Dragonfly helicopter. It got delivered. I haven't opened it. It's really big. And like I've been busy and I need time to like pull that thing out. Also, I thought about maybe doing like an unboxing video for it, but at the moment I don't have the capacity to edit. I'm on a different laptop right now. My laptop with my editing stuff has got to be repaired. So I can't really even do a video on it right now. So it's just sitting over there in the box. But that is the most recent one. That's the one that I've got the most recently, and it's a nice box. But that's all I can really say about it because that's all I've seen of it so far. Is it's a large box, but yeah, that's what it is.
Okay, third question for Lydia. Question 3: Which environment? Yeah, you think Cobra and Joe should have had a sub team in?
Environment.
Yeah.
So
that's a tough one. What do you mean by that?
I mean, they covered quite a few environments, but did they? What could they? Hold on, I've got a cat that is. Hey, come on. Hey, cut it out. I'm sorry. I apologize.
I love it.
She hasn't even made an appearance on camera. Hey, come here. See this? I'm trying to get you guys some extra views here, and having cats on camera is
what's her name?
Come here. But I'm sorry. I'm on the hot seat. I'm sorry. I got distracted.
Yeah.
My seat is still warm. Environment. It's like they both had some.
Right. Like,
no.
What's your favorite environment?
Like either Arctic troops or.
Yeah, I got you. I understand the question. I got you. I'm just trying to think of what they, other than what they already had, what could they have had? They had naval and air, jungle, and what wasn't covered? They've covered most of the Earth.
Even in space.
Well, they kind of covered underground too, and outer space. They went to outer space. They covered it all. Lunar, Mars. It's a tough question because, like, they really did cover a lot of the environmental specialties.
Lilith, you gave me a brilliant idea. We got tunnel rat, but I never had a tunnel viper.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Yeah. Okay. Well, but hey, let's go with that. That's the answer. Underground,
subterranean. They've never done that.
Yeah.
It's just like, in the head.
Well, you're right. They had tunnel rat, but as far as like a sub team or a
Cobra.
specialty. Yes, subterranean. That's the answer. Subterranean.
Subterranean Viper. Lilith, you've just gave me an idea.
Genius.
Watch this space. Watch this space, people. Minor Viper. Minor
All right.
Viper.
I'm a fourth question, Campbell. Go ahead.
All right, what's the fourth question? Here we go. What is your favorite food? Either fast food or your favorite food.
My favorite food. I do like a lot of food. So much so that it's hard to pick a favorite. Like I think pizza is too easy. I can't give you easy answers, right? Because like I got to dig a little deeper than that. I got to dig a little deeper. So it's got to be something that I don't have all the time, because it's got to be something that is special when I have it. To be like the really top notch, like not just the liking the food, but the experience of having it is rare and memorable. So let's narrow it down. So that wouldn't be any fast food, and it wouldn't be pizza. And let's see. So I'm gonna go with what do I love, but I don't get often enough. What would that be? I'm gonna go with escargot, snails. That's it.
Wow.
I do like myself some escargot. Don't have it very often, but
that's pretty fancy.
I'm going with it.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know the reaction to most people with that particular dish, but and I was as surprised as anyone that I actually enjoyed it. So there you. But no, that's not. I can't really stop in the McDonald's drive-through and order a McEscargot. So it's
like a rare thing for you.
Yeah, not one that I get very often.
I've got one, bro. Remember in our childhood we had this like a sweet and sour meatball dish?
Oh yes.
That sounds
well, my
good.
wife has now made one, and it reminds me so much of our childhood, bro. So like a sweet and sour meatball dish, it is beautiful, bro.
I think I rented it, didn't I?
No, we made Turkish meatballs, which I don't know what the hell that is. We just came up with the name, and it tastes delicious.
Yeah.
But I'll give you the recipe.
Yeah, mixed snails.
Oh,
you know what? Hey, my girlfriend may watch this later, so I want to change my answer. My favorite food is her pecan pie. Thank you, dear, for making delicious food. Thank you.
Is that pecan pie? Like
yes,
pumpkin, like a pumpkin pie.
It's it's almost Thanksgiving here in the States, and pecan pie is kind of a staple. So we're gonna be indulging in some pecan pie. So that's my real answer. Forget the snails. That's disgusting. Who would even say such a thing? What I meant was my lovely partner's dessert dish. And that's what I intended to say if she happens to come back and watch this later. That's what I intended to say. The escargot thing, that was just kidding.
So you had Roblox really happy. I was like, yes, here's a guy who loves classical food, fine taste, and then you change your mind. But that's right, he's into the pecan pie.
You could say that I'm into brownie points with the person that's living with me. So as long as there's a chance that she'll go back and watch this, it's your cooking, honey, that I love.
I love that. All right, bro. What's your question number 4? And then we got a question from Lilith too.
Yep. Question number 4. What's your favorite good guy toy? Like, what's your favorite the good guys?
The favorite good guy toy. And I assume you like not just favorite character, because that would be Stalker, and he is one of the good guys. But let's expand it. I'm not trying to give you easy answers. You're asking the hard-hitting questions, and I'm trying to give you in-depth answers. So I'm trying to really give it some thought. Favorite good guys, like overall good guys. Let's say that the good side of a toy line, because you did say toys, so it's got to be toy line. And G.I. Joe is too easy an answer, right? We gotta dig deeper than that. We gotta dig deeper because that could be the easy answer, right? Oh, G.I. Joe, my favorite good guys. But no, let's dig a little deeper. Let's try a little harder to answer this question. I'm gonna go with let's see. I'm not going to go with Stargate. When we talked about Stargate, I do very much like, especially the TV series or multiple TV series. But even though they did have some toys, they didn't have much of a toy present. Is not like what we're used to. So I don't think that should count. I gotta dig a little deeper. I'm going to say my favorite good guy faction is going to come to mind any second now, and it is going to be the United Federation of Planets. That's it. Star Trek. That's it. They had toys. They had toys. They had toys. That's what I'm going with.
Nice.
The galactic good guys. Not perfect, but overall still pretty good. And they had a toy line. I feel like that hits all the technical aspects of your question, and it's also not the easy answer. I'm trying to not give you easy answers. You're not asking easy questions. I'm not giving you easy answers. So I'm going with,
I love it.
Our friends in the United Federation of Planets, as depicted in the various Star Trek series. There.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's Lila's question. Oh.
Okay, number 4. What's your favorite mail-away item Hasbro made?
Well, damn it. See, now I want to give the easy answer, because the most obvious answer, which would be the correct answer for me, would be the Hooded Cobra Commander mail-away action figure. That's okay. But here I am talking about, like, I don't want to give you the easy answers, and that one has like the easiest answer that I could give you. Let me think about what would be my favorite other than that, because that's my answer. That would be my favorite. But other than that, if I couldn't choose that one, I think it would be. I'm gonna go with Steel Brigade.
Yeah.
Because I didn't get one as a kid. I really didn't get much mail away stuff as a kid, so I didn't get them until I was an adult collector. But when Steel Brigade came out, it was kind of a magical idea that you could get your own G.I. Joe action figure based on yourself with a personalized file card that was mind-blowing, and it could have your name on it. That's incredible. I guess it was lost on me that the figure wouldn't have your likeness. I don't know. I was a kid. Give me a break. I guess it didn't occur to me that they couldn't sculpt individual heads for every kid that was sending away from this thing. So, but upon getting it as an adult and getting the variations and just learning more about it, even though the figure, of course, is kind of generic for obvious reasons, but each one of those figures was personal to a kid, to a G.I. Joe fan, to someone who was getting this stuff and playing with it. They were, each and every one of them was personalized and was special to whoever got it. So I think I like that. If I can't pick the easy answer, which would be the Hooded Cobra Commander mail away, then I will go with Steel Brigade. That's my secondary answer.
It's our mum there.
Hey, Mom.
How's it going?
Hi, Mom.
Gaz has got a question here too. Oh.
Keep.
Captain Kirk or Captain Picard?
It's another tough question, man. Because I like both for different reasons. I am going to go with Picard because I just think he is a really rich character and a more multifaceted character. But that having given that answer, I've got to give some credit to Kirk because Captain Kirk is a more complex and interesting character than he gets credit for. And I mean, Captain Kirk is one of the reasons that a lot of people fell in love with Star Trek in the first place. And he really was there's a lot of mockery now and a lot of parody of Shatner's, overacting. But there were a lot of moments when Captain Kirk was a very compelling character. So it really is no knock on Captain Kirk. I really do like both characters for different reasons. But Patrick Stewart brought a gravity to the Picard character that I don't think we necessarily saw very much of in Star Trek before then. I mean, he took that to another level. So that's my answer.
Very good. Phil from Treasure for Treasures has got Best Joe Year.
Best Joe year. See, and this is, I love these tough questions. These are because I can dig into them and really think about them. These are good. I like the hot seat. I need to.
It's a new one,
feet on fire more often. This is a good one. Best year. I'm gonna go with 1985 by a slim margin because I also really like 1984. 1984 introduced a lot of things that kind of became really important to the lore and the line overall. But 1985, the brand really hit its stride. It was selling so well that they could go crazy with it. They could give you an aircraft carrier. They could give you all these crazy vehicles and stuff. They could throw all these here's more figures for you with more stuff. And the quality just kept ratcheting up. And I mean, that's not to say that 86, 87, 88 were bad, but in 1985, I feel like G.I. Joe kind of knew what it was. It had its core identity, and it was popular enough that it could really just kind of explode and give you a wide variety of things, a wide variety of media. So yeah, I'm gonna go with 85, but it's not necessarily a slam dunk because 84 gave us Storm Shadow and Zartan. And these things all added new elements to the series that continued with the series even today. So that was a very important year. That was a huge leap in 1984. But yeah, I'm going to say in 85, it really was in its stride. So I'm going to go with 85.
Right.
Matt Noon has got a question, and it is in the next Giotto movie, who do you think will be playing Stalker or Ranger?
Oh, wow.
Stalker is a Ranger, but yeah.
That's I don't know.
That's a real tough question.
It is. I can't think off the top of my head like an actor that I would choose for that role.
I would choose Denzel Washington's son. Denzel Washington. His son, no, not Denzel Washington, but his son is an actor. Can't remember his name.
Is he?
Yeah, he's been acting for a wee bit now. From I'll get back to you on his name.
Yeah. And my apologies. Like, I really want to give a good, solid answer, but oddly, this is one that I haven't thought about that much. And I'd really have to kind of think about the options. After the Snake Eyes movie kind of bombed, I haven't given a whole lot of thought to what they might do with later movies, if we even get any. In fact, I'm not sure that they will have a Stalker character or equivalent in the next one. I'm not sure we'll even get that. But if they do, shoot, man, I hate to pass, but I don't want to give like a really dumb answer. I could give like a joke answer, but Stalker is my favorite character, and I do feel like it deserves a better answer. But I may have to pass on this one because I don't know.
I don't know the actor's name, but he was on the 4 movies. He played what's his name? Isaac. He'll play excellent Stalker.
Yeah. The guy I was thinking of, John David Washington. He's been on a few movies. He's been about running back.
Oh, yeah.
He's the son of Daniel Washington. But he's been on a few movies I watch, and he will be a good Stalker. Look him up, bro.
Ganson's got a question here, which is really cool. So the question is Kurt Russell, Ken O'Neill, or Richard Dean Anderson?
So O'Neill with 1 L or 2 L's. So I'm going to go with the O'Neill. This is kind of an obscene gesture, isn't it? 2 L's. Yeah. I'm going to go with Richard Dean Anderson. Kurt Russell in that movie, I mean, he was fine, but I feel like he was definitely doing it for the paycheck. But Richard Dean Anderson, like, that was a revival for him. Like, he was in MacGyver for a whole bunch of years and, moved on from that series and could have easily just fallen into obscurity. But that was a revival for him, and I really liked him in that series. He had a sense of humor. He brought some lightness to the stories, which could have been excessively dark. This is why you got to have a little bit of lightness, to balance out some of the more serious tone, and he really brought that. So I'm going to go with O'Neill, and I apologize for the obscene gesture, but the O'Neill with 2 L's. And again, no knock on Kurt Russell, but I think that was very much specifically for the paycheck. He did a competent job, but Richard Dean Anderson, I think, was more into the role. Of course, I know he got paid too. I mean, he got some money as well. He didn't do it for free. Let's be real, but he seemed to be more into the role.
Yeah, well, so much so that even when he became wasn't on active duty, he was still part of the show as the general.
Yeah. They kept him around, and I don't know. I just and I like the guy. Like, Richard Dean Anderson seems to be like a pretty cool guy as well. So yeah, that's my answer. Good question. Good question.
Okay, my last question is: what type of music or artist do you enjoy the most?
You say music? I'm sorry. Did you say musical artist, or I'm sorry? What did you say?
Oh, sorry. I'll repeat it. What type of music or artist, whoever, do you enjoy the most?
Oh, wow. Well, lately I've been getting back to my roots with a bunch of like industrial music from the 90s. So I've been digging out the KMFDM. So, that's what I'll go with for right now. KMFDM.
Yeah.
They are better than the best. So they also kind of suck, but I'm going with KMFDM from Germany. Yeah, I'm going to throw back to the 90s.
Nice.
To the olden days when I was much younger and much more interesting.
Yes, yeah.
But you just happen to catch me at a time when I'm getting nostalgic for a bunch of stuff that I used to listen to in the 90s.
Fair enough.
Right.
What do you got, bro?
My last question is: what is your favorite villain toy?
Villain toy. Ooh, these are good questions. I like these questions. And I can't give you the easy answer because it could be Cobra Commander, right? Because I could give you the easy answer, and I'm trying to dig deeper. I'm trying to give you like more substantive answers. Who's a great villain? Who's a great villain? This may also be too obvious an answer, but I'm going to go with it anyway because I don't want to pick Cobra Commander. That's too easy. I'm going to go with Darth Vader.
Oh, yes.
Great villain. Like,
I have to say the same. He is pretty much the icon of the villain.
That is
quite complicated too.
That is an extremely compelling character arc. I'm going with that, and I know, and again, that may be too obvious an answer. Like you can't get much more popular a villain than Darth Vader, but look around for better villains. It's hard to find a better villain than that one. So that's why he's popular, is because the character is really compelling, and he has some decent toys as well. Some crappy toys, but also some decent ones.
Yeah, gotta agree with you.
Okay, so we've got a question for Lilith here. My hard question was, what 90s figure you like that does it better than the original version? Like a remake, you're saying? Like how there's version 2 of Stalker or version...
Yeah, okay, I got you. So like, so a 90s version that does it better than the 80s version. I got one. I got one.
What you got?
This is again, maybe an obvious one, but I think it's so obvious that it deserves a mention, and that is Deep Six.
Yes,
because the later, basically any later version of Deep Six, Eco Warriors, that first Deep Six figure was a paperweight. It was a plastic hunk. And I understand it had a gimmick and all that, but there was not much else you could do with it other than the gimmick. So by default, every version of Deep Six after that is significantly better. So I'm going to go with Deep Six.
What's that? I think Sazel's got a question too. So you get your on the new follow that showed up in the scene of Pumpkin. Yes. So I'll take this another count of yours.
The jury's still out. We'll see. Oh,
there's a cat.
Yeah. See, look. Here's Alistair. And see now your views are going to just go through the roof, because this is how you become popular on the internet is by having cats in your video. He is an asshole. Let me tell you. Don't be fooled by his adorable appearance. This guy is not nice. But anyway, yeah. No, I revived an old
Yeah.
profile on Facebook that I created years and years ago, and so yeah, since I'm being nostalgic about my music from the '90s and early 2000s, my posts for that are going there. So that's it's a very very old. Actually, a couple very very old nicknames that are still attached to me, I guess.
Ronnie just asked, can the cat do any tricks?
Oh yeah, he can piss on things you wouldn't think he'd even be able to reach. It's incredible. It's amazing how destructive he can be. Like look at this guy. Like this is a whirlwind of destruction. This is a furry ball of hate right here. Like I said, he's not nice. He's not nice. None of his he does. Yeah, sure he does tricks, but none of his tricks are nice. You don't want him to do them.
Okay, now Gaz has got a last question here. Iron Eagle or Top Gun?
Well, okay. You gave me two choices, and I have to go with Top Gun because Top Gun has, for a long time, was one of my favorite movies ever. Okay, so and that, again, no disrespect for Iron Eagle, and maybe that is like the too obvious answer, but like I really loved that movie for a long time. Every time I watched it, I kept hoping that Goose would live. Like this time when I watch it, he's gonna be okay. And
his son, he's living for his son.
Yeah, he's not okay. He's not okay.
Yeah, Gaz, Iron Eagle is my favorite movie too. Between those two, it's something about the music and I don't know the boy who's got a lot of talent coming to get his dad, Chappie.
Yeah.
I have to say Iron Eagle because it's when it came out when we were younger. Which Top Gun came out when we more was in our adult teenage years.
Don't you just love the movies?
Yeah, and I know my answer is like my answer is a total sellout answer, but I had a lot of affection for that movie, so that's the truth, and I got to go with it.
I've got to say the movies from the 80s. Yeah, I got to say the movies from the 80s was just perfect. The right amount of soundtrack, the music, the scenes. Like, I think, don't be wrong, the new Top Gun film, they try to remake that, like bring in music to the
just done
things like certain scenes and there's music is like really catching to it.
There's a reason why a lot of those movies still hold up. Because they were really, really well made. They were very well crafted movies. So, yeah, that it's the classics from the 80s. They just never seem to get old, and it's hard to recapture that. It was a different era, and it was a well remembered era for good reasons.
Yeah, most definitely.
All right.
I'm pretty sure a lot of it's got one last question. I'm pretty sure you have more than 5 left, but I'll give it to this one because it's quite interesting actually. What's your 90 vehicle that you would like after giving it I can't speak English.
What is your 90s vehicle you like after getting it in your collection?
So I'm from Oklahoma, and we don't speak English very well here, so it's fine. There are a lot of really good 90s vehicles. I'd have to I know that I've knocked the 90s a lot, but I've also tried to point out a lot of really cool stuff from the 90s. There was a lot of cool stuff from the 90s. I'm trying to narrow it down to a vehicle that I liked after getting it in my collection, and specifically from the 90s. The Ghost Striker. the F-16 kind of clone
Yeah.
jet. A bit gimmicky with the electronics, but that was a great addition to G.I. Joe's, Air Force. It was more compact than you would have got with a Sky Striker. Sky Striker, of course, a lot bigger, and by the 90s, they were kind of scaling some things down, but they still packed a lot into a smaller vehicle and kind of still made you feel like it was substantial. And when you have it in your hands, it's got some it's chunky. It's like got some weight to it. So I think that's the one that comes to mind right now. I probably did suspect that I was going to like that one, and I did end up liking it. But that's also one where getting your hands on it, I think makes a difference, because it's really solid. It's really solid. It's got a lot of features, even without the electronics. And it's got a really good version of Ace that comes with it too. So I'll go with that. That's a solid vehicle from the 90s that I think a lot of 80s fans, if they checked it out, would end up liking it.
I'm a tough one. I'm either going towards the Mudbuster or the Hammer.
Those are also like really good choices. Yeah.
Considering I own 3 Hammers, let's just say the Hammer. Yeah. And the aerial is always, I've only got one aerial that is in great conditions. The other one's a repo. And unfortunately, the repo didn't even last. So I'm going back to old school way and using MIG wire and make my own aerial.
Those parts on the
so brittle.
Hammer, like made out of wax or something. It's like, this so
brittle.
Fragile. But that's a really good choice as well. That's a good one.
That is probably one, like the Whale and those vehicles. A lot of the Joes. But when we eventually move house, that is one. Yeah, I'm going to be shitting bricks. Literally shitting bricks.
Make that the last question. We come out of the hot seat and go back into normal show.
How's it, bro? I think Gaz had a question here, bro.
Really?
Oh, actually, no, even Zazel. So there's a couple more questions, and then we're going to call it quits. All right, so Zazel had a final question. Final question. Best movie quote of all time. Wow. That's putting us on the spot, man. I'm loving this segment of the show.
Best movie quote of all time. Again, quite subjective, but I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with "Hail to the King," baby.
Hail to the King.
Yeah. Army of Darkness. That's what I'm going for. Yeah, there you go.
Mine's got to be getting into the chopper.
Get it.
Dude, no. Anything from Arnie. Anything from that guy should have been in gijoetoys.
Only because I've been watching a lot of Dirty Harry lately, but it's got to be Do You Feel Lucky, Punk? I know it goes longer than that, but yeah, Do You Feel Lucky? Well, do you, Punk?
Actually, can you just imagine Arnie Schwarzenegger as Hawk in gijoetoys? I can see that.
Yeah, could have, but he was doing also a lot of films in the 80s. So here's the last question.
Don't lose the answer. Or an Arnie
last question. Megaforce, the best in G.I. movie ever. Megaforce.
Ironically, it may still be the best live-action G.I. Joe, all things considered. I mean, considering what we've had. But Megaforce is a blast and a ton of fun. So it's sure, I'll go with that. And Gaz, you win. Megaforce still a lot of fun and still more fun than most of the G.I. Joe movies that we've had since then.
All right, I reckon this part is over, bro. Oh,
Yeah.
hang on. Someone just put on Liv goes this. Delta Force.
No, Delta Force
Yeah.
is
That's a great
that's
movie too.
also pretty good.
Yeah.
There are a bunch of almost G.I. Joe movies, not quite G.I. Joe movies that were out that would have been good G.I. Joe movies. There's some good options there, but Megaforce though Megaforce hits a lot of those notes that early G.I. Joe did. It ticks a lot of those boxes.
Yeah, most definitely. I'm just going to give a special shout out to Sazel here. He's the first channel member. Thank you so much, Sazel. He joined on Friday night. Thank you, Chief.
Yeah,
So, my friend, we've been going for like almost 2.5 hours. I want to say, all right, this is where we're going to end it now, but I want to say thank you so much, Bryan, HCC78, for your many years of service, your happy retirement, studying COVID conversions. I'm just at all, my friend. Just thank you so much for coming on the show. I'm gonna say thank you, my bro, for being my backup, my wingman.
No worries, bro.
No worries. Cheers, bro. And if any time you want to come back on the show, Bryan, just give us a holler. We're more than welcome. Us Kiwis are always welcome chaps.
Sounds great, and thank you for having me. It's been a lot of fun. I really appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
I kind of want you on the show for one reason. It was also I want to like I'm doing right now, personally thank you for your many years of service. I mean, I could have said thank you through Messenger. I think I did, to be honest. But I personally want to, if I was there, if I'm right there, mate, I want to be there and shake your hand and probably give you a hug. You know, that's us Kiwis are like.
Virtually.
Pets should do a special. Pets should do a special Anzac and American Boys podcast. Get some Anzac boys and American boys on it. The podcast.
You're like Gaz. We need to get Gaz on the show, bro. Gaz is a cool fella. You will love him.
Yeah,
he's really awesome.
Gaz is like a permanent resident. You need to might as well put him on the show.
He is really cool.
But thank you for the very kind words. Thank you for watching my stuff, my ridiculous videos that I made. And really, the thanks is from me to you.
Thank you, buddy.
You sustained me. You kept me going for a long time, and I really appreciate it. So thank you.
Yeah. No, you're right, man. You're
for me, I've got to give you.
Sazel has actually gave you a hug in real life. Oh man.
Yes, I did meet Zazel. Yeah.
And thank you, Matt. Thank you so much, mate. Thank you so much for that. Yeah.
Thank you,
and have a chance to talk. Yeah, well that's different. I really wanted to be lighthearted, just guys. Just mates talking. Oh, I can't say my brother's a mate. He is a mate, but we're just sitting there having a chat, having a talk. I love having a beer here, but maybe I should have.
In summer. For us. Yeah.
But yeah, Gaz, you watching this? Who, me? Yeah, I will. We would love to have you on the show sometime, mate. We'll talk dates and times.
Yeah, do it. That's a good guest.
And also the fact we'll try and get Casey and Eric on the show too, bro.
Yeah.
They're top notch. So with that, everybody, you want to get ready for the outro, my friend, my brother?
I just want to say something before we get the outro in here. I just want to say to Bryan, for the Cobra side, oh hell, Cobra! I love Cobra. I love Cobra.
Alas, poor Yorick.
Oh hell, the Cobra! All right, let's go. Let's end this. It was a great show.
So please, everybody, like, share, subscribe to my channel, my brother's channel, our channel, which is the Barracks Podcast, and still like and subscribe to Bryan's channel, or HCC78. It's still going strong. It's still there. It's still going strong. I'm probably considering about becoming another. I want to talk to my wife because it's a joint thing that I will. You still got a membership channel? Is that still on?
I still have the Patreon. I've been trying to add some updates here and there to, at least give some people something for the Patreon, but it is still there. Yeah.
All right. Okay. With that, let's call it quits, and let's see you later.
See you guys.
Thank you.